He added, "Don't forget, we're still in two different wars, that I started.What has two thumbs and created ISIS? This guy?" Reviewing a chart that showed the decline of the stock market during Bush's presidency, Mr. Ferrell said, "I'm no economer, but even I know that was no bueno. Going on to compare vice presidents, he added, "Some say Mike Pence is heartless. But remember, Dick Cheney was literally heartless.At this point, it's just Legos in there." And if Mr. thinks the news media is tough on him, Mr. Ferrell reminded viewers that an Iraqi reporter had once thrown a pair of shoes at Mr. Bush. "But you know what they say, shoe me once, the shoe's on you," Mr. Ferrell said. "Shoe me twice, I'm keeping those shoes." Reassuring viewers that he was not a Trump synthesizer or anything, Mr. Ferrell noted that Presidents Bush and Trump had a lot in common. They are the same age, for example, and they both won presidential elections while losing the popular vote. "Though, back in my day, we didn't let Russians rig our elections," he added. "We used the Supreme Court, like Americans." In other memorable moments from this episode, Weekend Update carried most of the weight this week when it came to topical, headline-driven humor. On Monday, Chuck Schumer saw his shadow, which means we have 3 more weeks of government. Colin Jost, the Weekend Update co-anchor, said of the deal to end a 3-day government shutdown. "The deal keeps the government operating through Feb.8, Mr.Jost said, meaning Mr. Mr. Schumer and his Republican counterpart, Senator Mitch McConnell, have 12 days left to solve all of immigration. Mr.Jost's co-anchor, Michael Che, addressed a conspiracy theory advanced and then played down by Senate Republicans about a so-called secret society within the F.B.I.said to be plotting against Mr. Republicans have begun blaming a secret society within the F.B.I. for undermining the Trump presidency. And do you know what? I believe it. That's why hating on Donald Trump is so frustrating for me. Because he constantly reaffirms all of my black paranoia.Just when I think he's insane, he'll say something that makes perfect sense, like the media's lying, the F.B.I.'s trying to do me like they did Tupac. And I'm like, they did kill Tupac, didn't they? Mr. Ferrell appears as one of the spokesmen for Next, the only antiperspirant for men who are feeling the heat because their number time's up, a reference to an anti-harassment campaign led by women in Hollywood. Making his way through the office, where he is about to be fired for some kind of sexual misconduct, Mr. Ferrell explains, "I work hard. I play hard.And something's coming out about me real soon. Because I'm next." 3 couples, played by Mr. Ferrell and Kate McKinnon, Aidy Bryant and Kenan Thompson, and Heidi Gardner and Beck Bennett, find that their meal comes to a crashing halt when they attempt to discuss an unspecified New York Times op-ed about Aziz Ansari, the comedian and actor who has been accused of sexual misconduct by a woman who went on a date with him. It is hardly an easy topic in which to find humor, but S.N.L seemed to find the right tone by focusing on the awkwardness of the dinner guests, which escalates to absurd proportions. "Can't we just go back to the dog?" Mr. Ferrell pleads. "We were happy when we were talking about the dog." In the final segment of the night, Mr. Ferrell played Chucky Lee Bird, a Jerry Lee Lewis-style pop singer of a bygone era, though perhaps not as bygone as one might think. To the increasing chagrin of a TV pitchwoman played by Ms. McKinnon, all of his songs, "Cruisin' in My Windowless Van," Girl Scout cookie, I left my heart across state lines, appeared to be about dating underage girls. If you were left slightly puzzled by the sketch in which Mr.Ferrell and Ms. McKinnon played a silver-haired couple who struggled to correctly say the catchphrase in an advertisement for chicken pot pies baked in a crispy pastry crust, allow us to explain. It's a parody of this viral video from a few years back, in which a real-life husband and wife, Jack and Sonia Palmer, could not quite say that the pot pies being advertised were baked in a buttery flaky crust. Not to worry, the Palmers became internet celebrities and, according to anecdotal reports from social media, their mere presence is enough to leave people awestruck.